We're in a big change, guys, right? I'm sure everybody feels it. Actually, only this morning, I spoke with five people I counted, that ask me, that tells me that they spoke with the creator and they ask, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want me to do? Because the pressure is hard. And I feel that pressure too. So I'm allowing myself to tell you that I know it's good. And I know it's good. It's not something that I see everybody's going through and I'm like sitting on a throne somewhere. We all feel the pressure. We all feel the pressure, but the pressure to change, and it's beautiful. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a beautiful pressure if we know how to look at it in the right mind. And for weeks we're talking about how to be in the right mind. There's a lot of forces, even we're talking about planets. And also remember, we are in the time of getting out of Egypt. And what is Egypt? Egypt is trying to hold us into past, into things that we are addicted to, into things that we don't think that we can live without. And that force that is coming wants to release us from that Egypt. And we go through this astrologically, and we are in the midst, and we're in the portion of in the book of Shmot, when we're talking about the exodus from Egypt. And if we learn to really listen, and exactly where it's difficult to say, okay, God, what do you want me to do at this moment, is just to accept. Just to accept. Because that's how we free our mind. Okay? By accepting and not fighting and not think that we know better. I'm really wishing to myself and to all of us, that we will be able to listen, and we will be able to connect to that divine inspiration that exists right above our head, wants to guide us. We have angels that wants to help us, and they can sit around us helpless because we are not open to welcome them and to allow them to help us. Okay, so we want that divine inspiration to guide us where we want to go. And where do we really want to go? We want to receive the good from the Creator, because that's why we were created. But in order for us to receive that good from the Creator, we need an appropriate vessel. And if we just remember that, the entire world is every system in this world is working by that law. And when a person is able to create a vessel that is ready for the light, this is where we feel fulfilled. Because that's what we really want to feel. We want to live our essence. Because if we think that if we will have more money, we will be more happy, I'm sure that each and every one of us, one way or another, one time or another, we experience of more and still didn't feel so happy. I actually talked to someone the other day that she's in an amazing relationship, someone who cares and love, and she doesn't believe how great fortune she is, but she's not happy. Why she's not happy? Because she's afraid to lose it. So already, so when we don't have it, we're not happy. When we have it, we're not happy because we're afraid to lose. I like traveling, and I know that if I'll travel tomorrow all over the world, and if I'm not happy, that's not going to make me happy, because that's only the physicality, the essence. We need to live our essence. And when we live our essence, when we live our truth, then we are happy. Then we have a vessel that is ready to receive light. Okay? And what happened right now in the world with all these Aquarius, it's a level of consciousness that we are not aware of. That it's a consciousness of freedom. It's a consciousness that I'm not attached to anything. I can be happy just because I want to be happy. I don't need anything physical to have in order to be happy, in order to feel fulfilled, in order to feel my essence. And that's the goal. The goal is this, because it doesn't matter what we have physically. We can have it all. And still, if we don't live our essence, we are not able to receive that light, that goodness of the Creator. And then if we are not doing it, then happiness is a long, long way from us and far away. And the energy of the all this Aquarius that is happening, and Mars in Taurus right now, making sure that Mars in Taurus is going to make sure that everything that we planned in the last year, actually, Mars is action. Mars wants to see action. Taurus, physical action. I want to see how, let's take all these dreams that we have, all these aspirations that we have, and let's make it real one step at a time. Let's see how we're making it real. Okay, now while we are making it real, yeah, it needs to be that force that will tell us, you cannot do that, right? And here we are going into the portion of the week, the portion of Bo. And Bo in numerology is 3, and we are talking about the 3 last plagues. It's called Gimel Rishonot, the 3 upper dimension, which is Keter, Chochma, and Bina. Okay, and I'm sure you heard it in so many lectures. Why Bo? Because the Creator tell Moses, come to Pharaoh, right? They come to Pharaoh, and why come? You're supposed to say go. I'm just going to say it briefly because I'm sure we heard about it many times. Because Moses was afraid to go to Pharaoh. He was afraid to go to Pharaoh, because when we are talking about Keter, Chochma, and Bina, we are already talking about a high level of negativity. Because last week we learned about the Sheva Tachtonot, the 7 Sfirot, the lower Sfirot, that has to do with the body. And when we're dealing with the body, we're talking about klipot. Klipot, it's negativity that is relatively easy to deal with. For example, if it's food, it's money, it's sex, it's relationship. It sounds serious, but it's really, really easy when you have the upper sphirot already in the right consciousness, right? Because the lower desires that we have, a person is totally addicted to food, and you tell me it's easy to overcome. I mean, it's so hard to overcome. You tell me it's easy to overcome. If it would be easy to overcome, I would eat healthy and I would look great, but food, something easy as food. People are addicted. How many companies making so much money, with diets, different diets. And if a person doesn't want to really solve the problem, it doesn't matter how much money is going to waste on buying different diets. It's only about the desire. It's in the head that the person will decide that he wants to let it go. And that's the portion of this week, because in the last parasha, we were talking about the lower klipot. But in this portion, Keter, Chochma, and Bina, it's already in the mind, in the da'at of the person. And when the da'at, the mind, is not connected, then it looks like the lower level of klipot, it's hard to handle. But we don't need to handle really the problem with food and the problem with addictions and the problem. It's not a problem really. What the problem is in the head. And what these klipot are doing, they're twisted completely the reality of a person. So a person can live one reality and look at this reality completely outside of of how it really is. Because that reality is ruled by very, very strong klipot, very strong negativity, okay, that belongs to, it's called kochot zarim, that really belongs to other. It's coming from the klipa. So the klipa is completely taking over of the mind. And that klipa is really the desire for the self alone that is separating us from the Creator. So if we are separated from the Creator, we want those physical things, and we think that that's going to make us happy. It's very, very hard to change the mind. And if we look at life in one reality, as one reality, it's very hard, even if people tell us, to convince ourselves that what we feel right now is not true or it's not real. And most of the time, we are really running away from reality, and we don't really want to deal with the one thing that could change it. How do we know that we don't see reality the way reality really is? And there's few ways to know that. One of them is to see repetition of things that happen to us. Because a person can be really not happy and not fulfilled at its workplace or in their relationship, and will decide to leave and to go to another relationship or to another job. And at the beginning, everything will be great, but after a while, he will experience exactly the same thing. Because if we are not fixing it, if we are not removing the klipot from the da'at, the keter chokhmah and bina, if we are not removing the veil from there, if we are not removing the negativity that's showing us a complete and twisted reality, okay, we will keep experiencing the same things. One of the ways to look at it is to really look at the history of our life and see how in life we are constantly going through the same situation over and over again. Same kind of relationships, same kind of people that we draw into our life. Same kind of situation, and we don't understand. It feels to us that again we are victims. Again, something happened to us. Well, if it's happened to us again and again, I'm sure we are student of Kabbalah for a long time. We know that there's some responsibility we need to take. Now, the responsibility that we need to take is not to blame ourselves and to say, yeah, it's my fault. Is to actually do something about it. Okay, and this is where when the Creator told to Moses, Boel Paro, come to Paro, because Moses was afraid because the klipot, the negativity was so strong, so strong. I mean, Pharaoh was exactly at the level of King Solomon, and King, we call it in Hebrew, King Shlomo. But he was from the other side, from the Satrach, from the negativity. He was on a very high level because he was controlling the mind. And when Moses saw the depth of the negativity, he was afraid. Moses was afraid to go to Pharaoh. Therefore, the Creator says, come, I'll come with you. We'll go together. And remember that klipot is the one that's separating us from us and the Creator. Right? So when we are going to a difficult situation, we take the Creator with us. We know that the Creator will wait for us there, whatever we want. We just need to want it. We need to create an appropriate vessel to receive that light. Because if we don't have that vessel to receive that light, we don't find happiness in our life. And everything that is happening today, even astrologically, like I said, people ask me, people tells me, like they ask the Creator, what do you want from me? Because in order for us to go into that depth of negativity, we need to be brave. We need to be brave. That the energy of Mars that exists right now is so strong. Mars in Taurus. Although Mars is not really happy in Taurus because Mars is fire and Taurus is earth. And that earth doesn't really give energy to fire. But still, Taurus is safe. Okay, Taurus is action. So when Mars goes to Taurus, even if he's not feeling amazing there, he's still doing his job. Like, what is it, the things that I need to do to face that negativity? To face that negativity. And we cannot tell ourselves stories. Before the ninth or the 10th plague, the Creator leaves the plagues, and he tells the people of Israel, you need to take the setamim, you need to take the lamb, and you need to tie to your bed. It sounds horrible, by the way, but obviously we know that the Torah is not stories. You take the lamb, you tie it to the bed, and you just leave him there for 3 days, because the lamb was the god of the Egyptian. So why to tie to the bed for 3 days? So if an Egyptian will go through your house, you cannot tell him. The idea is that to sacrifice the lamb, the ram. Sorry, the ram is the desire for the self alone, right? So the whole idea is to sacrifice the desire for the self alone. And so, but the story is like, if an Egyptian will go near your house, you cannot say, "Oh, I just find this lamb here. I'm sorry, I don't know what it does here." Not to make an excuse why you cannot, why you have a lamb, why you got to sacrifice it. So there's no excuses. So if Egyptian will come and says, "Yeah, he's in my house. He's in my house, and in 3 days from now, I'm going to slaughter him." Forgive me, all the people who loves animals, but it's really like a metaphor for it. This was like the god of the Egyptian, okay, and the people of Israel that wanted to connect to the Creator, they didn't make any excuses. They were not afraid to fight the negativity. They would tell the Egyptian, "Yes, this is the negativity, and I'm going to sacrifice it, and I'm going to win." Okay, and even it's get even worse when it says, like, when it's time to sacrifice the tele, you need to burn it. Why to burn it? Because if you're going to cook it, so it's not necessarily going to smell like a ram. Maybe it's going to smell like a cow. So when Egyptian will come, will go by your house, he will not make a mistake. You cannot say to him, "Oh, no, it's not a lamb. It's a," what's with the lamb? It's not the ram. It's a cow, for example. No excuses. Going through the negativity and fight through the negativity with all the power. No excuses, no story, no nothing. Most of the time, our negativities serves a purpose. Serves a purpose. For example, if a person has an issue with expressing love or expressing, sensitivity or vulnerability, let's say that person has children, okay? So when the person is like all the time look for what's wrong and angry all the time, and and you say, "I don't want that anger anymore. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry. Please, God, what do you want from me? I want to get rid of that anger." But you cannot get rid of that anger. But if we don't go inside and see how anger serves a purpose for me right now. So when a person not knowing how to express feelings, and it serves a purpose that he always have the excuse why not to get closer to his children. Because you always have an excuse. "I'm busy, I'm angry, I'm this, I'm that, I'm not." It serves a purpose, because a person, for really getting close to his children, needs that anger will not serve a purpose for him anymore. It means that the desire to really get closer to the children will be much stronger, okay, than the desire to avoid it. Every negativity we have serving a purpose for us. It's hiding something else. That's why it's the mind. That's why we live in a blurry thing. That's why we twisted reality. We are twisting reality because it serves a purpose. It serves a purpose of responsibility that we don't want to take. Now, because we don't want to take that responsibility, we continue to look at life in a twisted way. We continue to look at reality as something that, that it's not really right for us. A person that all their life, they're sacrificing. They're sacrificing for their family. They're sacrificing for their children. They're sacrificing for their friends, for their job. Sacrificing all the time. And Now, and by sorry, it happens to me, right? Because my mind already went somewhere else. A person is sacrificing all their life. Now, the moment the person sacrifices, what's the result? The result that people will not appreciate, right? Because people don't appreciate sacrifice. People that sacrifice many times wants to replace God. I'm going to save you. And now that we have that Neptune square the nodes, it's the saving. I want to be the righteous one. I want to be the good one. So I'm sacrificing. But sacrifice automatically is drawing to life people that will not appreciate you, that the more you sacrifice, they'll want more from you. The more you sacrifice, it's not going to be enough for them. They're not going to like you. They're going to fight with you because it doesn't work. Okay, but people that it serves them a purpose to sacrifice because they don't need to take responsibility for any relationship, they'll continue to sacrifice. And as long as they don't understand that it serves a purpose for them, they'll continue to sacrifice, they'll continue to work hard, they'll continue to be unappreciated, and history repeats itself. What we want to have now, we have the portion of Bo, the Keter Chokhmah Binah, the plagues, the removing of the negativity from the mind. And once we are in control of our mind, the negativity of the body, it's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. It's not a problem. The problem is not the eating. The problem is not the drinking. The problem is not the TV. The problem is not the relationship. That's not the problem. The problem is in the head. And when we are willing to see where that negativity serves a purpose for us, it serves a purpose. I don't have to do something that I really don't want to do. So I'm okay with negativity. And it feels, God, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? He wants you to remove that negativity. That one thing that keeps bothering you. That keeps bothering you. So on Saturday, most of what's happening right now happening on Saturdays. Many things happen on Saturdays. We have Mars square Jupiter on Saturday. We have Venus sextile Neptune on Saturday. And we have the Sun in Aquarius is conjunct Saturn. Okay? So all these things happen this weekend. So what kind of a weekend we're going to have? So let's look at it. Mars in Taurus is stubborn, is aggressive, is limited because, like I said, like he doesn't like its earth. Earth really put away fire. So he's nervous. Okay? Is squaring Jupiter in Aquarius. Now, if we were talking about Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn is going to make sure we're all going to go into a higher level of consciousness. Jupiter is allowing it to happen because Jupiter is something that is not like Aquarius. It's not like Aquarius, but it's expansion. So you can expand the consciousness. You can help Aquarius really grow because Jupiter is the fire and the air. They're all they work very well together. And that Mars, so it's squaring. So squaring, we know already that it's not an harmonic relationship. So Mars is pulling into what I need. And Jupiter says, come on, man. Release, relax, enjoy, breathe. Okay, so we want to use actually the power of Mars in Taurus that is strong, that is going to make us manifest things and use even if it's square, because by the way, if you know astrology, square, even though it's disharmonic relationship, square will make sure things happen. I remember when I started to learn astrology, and you only learn by books because you don't have experience yet. I always expected charts. I used to open a chart and I used to prepare the chart for so long, and everything that I was preparing, I used to talk to the person and I was like, oops, it's not really working. Because you learn that square is a hard aspect, it's negative. And I will never forget a chart. of someone who had only trine. Trine is beautiful relationship between planets, everything is harmonic. And I remember it was the first couple of months that I did charts. Very, very fast I learned that you cannot read books and do charts. I saw all this harmonic thing, and I says, wow, that one was a woman. I will never forget that. She probably have a beautiful life, and she has money, and she has this, and she has that. And then I spoke with a miserable woman that was molested by her dad and by her uncle. And I was like, oh boy. And why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because we're in the month of hope. Okay, we're in Aquarius. And when we see squares like that, and we're like, oh my God, there is a square between Mars and Jupiter. What the hard aspect does, it makes the person a fighter. It makes the person like, because a person that, molested, but I'm not talking, I mean, God help us, we don't want to say anything, but a person that is that everything is okay, that they're weak, they don't know how to say no, many things can happen to them. But when we have a square, that's desire. That's like, yes, Mars in Taurus is squaring Jupiter, but Jupiter is like allowing us to be. And Mars in Taurus, that square between them is only going to help us find the balance between how can I raise my consciousness, how can I dream, how can I can have more, how can I have this divine inspiration, and the Mars will help us manifest it. So even though it's square, it means it's not coming easy, because we know this is the energy of this world. Things are not coming easy. We need to have a proper vessel to receive a light. So when they're squaring, they're actually giving us the opportunity. Yes, it's maybe not the smoothest, but that's the best recipe to eventually get what we want. Okay? And another thing that will happen on Saturday, that Venus in Capricorn will trine Neptune. Okay, so sextile. Sextile is another positive, easygoing, relationship between Venus and Neptune. Venus is love and money, right? And Neptune in Pisces, Neptune is Neptune. We talked about Neptune many times. On the good side, is very, very spiritual. On the other side, is very delusional. And because Venus is in Capricorn, again, it gives to the illusion of Neptune, it gives it a reality. It's a reality check. Okay, so we have that reality check because Venus is in Capricorn. Neptune, because it's a nice aspect, maybe we can see, if we really want to see God, what do you want from me? If you really want to see, this Saturday, you go, you listen to the Torah, you connect to the removing negativity of Keter Chochmah and Binah, and you have that Venus and Neptune together, and you ask, what do you want from me? And you will get an answer. Sounds amazing, right? And another thing that happened is that Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius we talked about. And when the Sun is the me, Sun is my power, Sun is where I shine, the shine in Aquarius, so it's conjunct Saturn. And again, Saturn is the responsibility. Saturn is like, you need to do it. So again, we are getting another dose of like, come on, get your freedom. We're going out of Egypt, and we have all these planets like allowing us, helping us to really get out of Egypt, to connect to the mind and to change, to be willing and to be brave. That Mars in Taurus, brave and see reality just the way it is. Don't run away from it. Don't hide it. Don't make yourself excuses. Don't tell stories. Tie the lamb into the bed and say, this is a lamb and this is my desire for the self alone. And yes, I'm going to slaughter it. And yes, I'm going to kill it, and there's no excuses, and I'm just going to do it. I'm not afraid of you, the Egyptian. I'm not afraid of you, negativity. I'm not alone.